Coronavirus cancellations, a different kind of March Madness.
Schools, cities, and major sports leagues making calls trying to protect you.
It's major, and it'll have a global impact.
To lose a market is to lose $3.5 billion of economic impact in North Carolina.
Our number one concern is safety for our kids and for our staff.
Players, coaches, and fans react to this, a season cut short.
We're doing what is right. It's hard because, again, we all want to play, and this is a big deal.
Losing sports is one thing, but your health is the top priority. What if a healthy person gets sick? Answering the questions you have.
Plus, we debunk coronavirus myths you might have seen online. WFMY News 2 at 11 starts right now. Breaking news tonight, another major announcement due to coronavirus concerns. The Tanger Center for the Performing Arts in downtown Greensboro says its grand opening has been postponed. It was supposed to be next Friday. A new date has not yet been set.
Those grand opening performances are all canceled. Acts include Josh Groban, Tony Bennett, and Jay Leno. The Tanger Center says it will reschedule the events.
They say ticket holders should call the box office. The Tanger Center sent us a statement tonight. It reads in part, "We're all disappointed. We made this decision out of concern for the safety of all residents of Greensboro, which is our priority."
This is the most recent of countless cancellations across the Triad, the state, and the nation. One of the biggest, no more March Madness or ACC Tournament. The stands were empty today at the Greensboro Coliseum.
Another major development, High Point Spring Furniture Market is postponed. Pre-market is canceled. Local businesses are sure to feel the ripple effects.
We've also learned Guilford County schools are asking parents whether they have access to laptops or tablets just in case classes move online. First, we want to address the coronavirus questions you've been asking.
We want to get you accurate information and answers. So tonight we took your top concerns to a Triad infectious disease doctor. WFMY News 2's Amma McCarty talked to her about what you need to know and do right now.
Dr. Cynthia Snyder reinforced some of the important things we've been hearing. Wash your hands, don't touch your face. Older age groups and people with underlying health issues are most at risk. But we wanted to know, what does the coronavirus infection look like for the average person? Dr. Snyder says it could be mild.
For a normal person, you may even feel like you're under the weather for just a few days and recover, or you may feel like you have flu-like illness and also recover. We know that 80% of the folks that have the infection, have mild disease, and so that's really, really reassuring.
No matter the severity, Dr. Snyder says that 14-day isolation period or self-quarantine is crucial. So if you do get the infection, when are you in the clear?
If somebody has been exposed to COVID-19 and you're kind of that incubation period, the thought is that after 14 days you're safe to be with others and not transmit the infection to anybody else.
Another question I've heard, if you get it once, can you get it again?
So, that's a great question that we hear a lot. The thought is that once you get infected with the virus that causes COVID-19, you develop and you get better and you're healing from it, that you've developed the antibodies so that you won't, and the immunity, so you're not likely to get reinfected.
As for the test kits, Dr. Snyder says Cone Health is trying to start up a coronavirus testing site to help out if people believe they have symptoms and possibly the virus. This, she says, will take some of the pressure off of hospitals and doctors' offices. We've got even more answers to your questions online soon at WFMYnews2.com.
Alma, thank you. There are 15 coronavirus cases in our state tonight. Most are in Wake County, but there are 2 in our area, both in Forsyth. This afternoon, Governor Cooper offered advice that sparked decisions across the state.
We advise postponing or canceling any gatherings over 100 people. That includes conferences, assemblies, sporting events, concerts, worship services, and other gatherings.
Governor Roy Cooper's advice prompted a wave of cancellations today. Guilford County Schools is postponing or canceling all events where 100 or more people would attend. That includes concerts, plays, theater productions, dances, and assemblies. The district is also canceling all student field trips. They're restricting visitors and volunteer access to schools. Only parents and guardians are allowed. School officials say they have a plan if a coronavirus case pops up in Guilford County.
Should it become necessary, the district is prepared to utilize online learning if that becomes necessary. I would just like to we'd like to remind our community that our principals and school staffs have a very good plan. They're well prepared.
Winston-Salem Forsyth is also falling in line. All school events and gatherings with 100+ people are suspended until April 6th. Before and after school child care programs will continue unless the provider says differently.
Today's cancellations mean major economic consequences for the Triad. High Point Market postponed, pre-market is canceled.
The events generate millions of dollars every year for Triad companies big and small. Event organizers say they had no choice.
WFMY News 2's Marissa Tansino digs deeper into how these decisions affect Triad businesses of all kinds.
Julie, Chad, hundreds of hotel cancellations, diverted trips, and changed plans. Everyone from business owners to travel agents to event organizers are feeling the effects of a chain reaction no one saw coming.
We circled this on the calendar a year ago.
Bar stools sit empty at 1111 right across from the Greensboro Coliseum where thousands of fans were supposed to be.
It's devastating. I mean, it really is.
It's an event Dan Morgan says would have been their biggest since they opened 2 years ago. Wednesday's games gave them a taste of what could have been.
We had a big rush between the early games and the late games, so the place was packed and people were spending and drinking and having a good time.
It didn't take long for the effects of the coronavirus to be felt beyond the ACC tournament.
Most of the people that are nervous right now are your cruisers. So the cruise industry has been hit so hard, it's hard to describe.
Travel agent Sean Lawrence says his phone has been ringing off the hook with travelers concerned about their trips.
It's major and it'll have a global impact because there's nothing bigger in any economy than travel.
And in High Point, one of the state's biggest economic drivers, the spring furniture market postponed. The pre-market was canceled altogether.
Pre-market's made up with about 500 people from across the country coming to High Point to look at new furniture product. Even given the limited size of our group, we felt we had no choice but to cancel.
The furniture market is pushed back to June. That buys organizers more time to monitor the situation and make a decision down the road.
Marissa, thank you. The CDC says seniors are among the most vulnerable. Triad assisted living centers are taking extra precautions. At Abbott's Wood at Irving Park Senior Living Center in Greensboro, non-essential visitors are not allowed. For others like family, friends, and faith leaders, they are screened before entering. They've also postponed non-essential outings. Wellspring in Greensboro is discouraging visits. Events that were open to the public this month have been canceled or postponed.
Reps for the city of Greensboro say they're monitoring the situation. The Tanger Center is following the same strategy. Keep in mind its grand opening is next Friday. We still haven't heard from Mayor Nancy Vaughn about the city's plans moving forward. In Forsyth County, where they have 2 coronavirus cases, Winston-Salem city leaders canceled all non-essential city-sponsored events, and sanitizing stations are set up at government facilities. City employees are not allowed to travel outside the country.
No matter what we're dealing with, it's about partnerships. We're working together. We have plans in place. And I want to assure the public, one, stay calm, follow those public health practices of washing your hands, staying home when you're sick.
And perhaps one of the biggest cancellations announced today, no March Madness. The NCAA chose to cancel the major tournament out of an abundance of caution. Their statement reads in part, the decision is based on the evolving coronavirus public health threat and our ability to ensure the events do not contribute to the spread of the pandemic.
The ACC canceled its tournament just as players started practicing for today's second round game. Florida State and Clemson players were escorted back into the locker room after the conference made the call. This is a night and day difference to what we thought the Greensboro Coliseum would look like this week. An eerily quiet building in what's supposed to be the height of the ACC tournament.
Coaches and players are reacting now that their season is officially over. This is not the way they thought it would end.
Luke, you heard from them and the fans.
Yeah, I know we as fans are extremely disappointed in the news about the coronavirus essentially grinding the sports world to a complete halt. But when you try to put yourself in the player's shoes, it's a completely different story. We caught up with Florida State Trent Forrest's mother after the news broke, and she shared her perspective.
Obviously, health wins, so we understand it, but it is disappointing. This is Trent's last time other than the NCAA to touch the court, so to be on the court as a senior, so I'm a bit disappointed for him, and we're disappointed that we're not able to watch our nose.
And Clemson head coach Brad Brownell echoed those same sentiments in front of an empty venue.
When we recruit these kids, we promise their families that we're going to take care of them, and we take that responsibility very seriously. You try to do what's best for your players, and you know, sometimes they don't even know what's best for them. We don't always know, but I told them the same thing, that guys, you got to trust people in leadership positions.
And other athletes reacting to the news online, Duke guard Trey Jones, who didn't even get to play in the men's ACC tournament, tweeted, "It doesn't seem real still." Greensboro Day alum and Clemson sophomore hoops player posted pictures of his teammates saying, "Disappointed in the end to the season. I appreciate all the genuine support from everyone through all of our extreme highs and even the lows. Developed relationships and had experiences that I will never forget." And Brandon Robinson, a senior for the UNC Tar Heels, simply said, "3 Rob out." We'll have much more reaction from the rest of the sports world coming up in about 13 or so minutes.
Luke, thank you. Several triad universities are postponing all of their spring sports. Winston-Salem State, Wake Forest, Elon, and High Point all put their seasons on hold today. They say health and safety of student athletes is the top priority. At the professional level, nearly every league has suspended its season indefinitely. We recently learned the NBA's suspension will last at least 30 days. NASCAR, the NHL, MLS, and Major League Baseball all halted their seasons today, one after the other. It's not clear if those games and events will be rescheduled.
The CDC reports there are just over 1,200 coronavirus cases in the U.S. 36 people have died. Travel from Europe to the U.S. will be banned for 30 days, though Americans overseas will be allowed to fly home. The Dow Jones dropped more than 2,300 points today, the worst drop since 1987. President Donald Trump staying optimistic.
It's going away. We want it to go away with very, very few deaths.
The administration's top infectious disease expert, Dr. Anthony Fauci, says a system of broad screenings should be up and running by private labs in a week. At least one of those is located in Burlington. Based in Burlington, we're talking about LabCorp. We have reached out to them several times. We're still waiting to hear back about their plans. Our mission is to keep you informed about the coronavirus. We are committed to facts, not fear. Wash your hands, consider some social distancing. Above all, prepare, do not panic. You can find all the latest information on our free app and on our website, WFMYnews2.com.
A now former Guilford County Schools employee is in jail tonight on sex charges. Police arrested the now former teaching assistant at Dudley High after a months-long investigation. Back in August, Greensboro police say they got a tip that Christopher Holland had an inappropriate sexual relationship with a student. Well, today they charged Holland with 3 counts of sex acts with a student. He's in the Guilford County Jail on a $350,000 bond.
All right, one thing that hasn't changed, weather still the same. We're looking at showers here locally right now. None of these are a big deal, but you might be noticing this in Rockingham County, northern Guilford too. These are mainly light, although a couple of heavier bursts can be found right now up there in Rockingham. Those are short ones. The more organized rain, well, it's not that far away either. It's over here in Tennessee and Kentucky. It is trying at least to head our way. Now, I think it'll weaken as it does so, but we could still hear some thunder and maybe see some lightning from this. It's late in the night, though. This is around 2 a.m., and notice we start to see some rain moving in from the north. Could be heavy at times. Again, a rumble of thunder is possible. I don't expect anything too severe out of this. This is the morning commute. Could be a soggy one, 7, 8, and 9 o'clock. After that, we will start to dry things out. I think Friday afternoon is actually in pretty good shape. So a wet morning, a dry afternoon, temperatures in the 70s and getting breezy. We'll have your full 7-day forecast and your weekend coming up.
Whether it's garlic, restrooms, or the grocery store, there are all sorts of crazy claims about the coronavirus floating around online.
We want to make sure you get the facts. Our Verified team is taking a closer look. That's next.